Okay, so for what I really wanted to talk about in today's episode is the new championships that have been unveiled in the WWE, right? So it started with the world title, and it led into the undisputed title. Then it led into the new women's WWE championship, and then the new women's world championship. So I'm totally cool with that. I like that it seems, I wouldn't want to say bigger, but it seems a little bit more important that the women have a WWE title, that the women have a world title, because it's always the women's championship. They are the champions of the women. But it's never the women who are the WWE champion, if that makes any sense. The women that are the world champion, if that makes any sense. Now they can be. Now it has a quote unquote a bigger title, a better meaning, so to speak. The world championship that Rollins has right now, I do like the design. Yeah, the logo in the center, the WWE logo in the center, something's off about it. If I can, I'll put a little picture right over here. Something's off about it, and I get it that not everything can be perfect. Maybe it's because the big gold belt, the WCW's world title, it didn't have a huge W logo on it. A lot of those titles in the past didn't have a huge W logo on it. It was generally like the design and then a little logo on top. But nowadays, the main part of the titles are all the WWE's logo, right? And I feel like if they would just put a little bit more effort into a lot of the other titles, like the WWE title, right? I'm not going to call it the Undisputed Universe. I'm not doing that. If they put more effort into the WWE Championship, I feel like we would be in a lot better spot. I think a lot of us would be a lot more happy. They stopped doing the whole actual design thing. It's always the main logo in the center, nothing really around it. They'll change the color and the custom side plates for whichever wrestler has the belt, right? And I think it's incredibly tough to design a belt that millions of people are going to like, right? I get it. I know it's tough. I know it's hard. But putting just a logo in the center and nothing else is also a cop-out, right? So the reason I like the world title is because it actually has a lot of the same characteristics, a lot of the same designs. It has a lot of throwbacks to the big gold belt, the WCW world title. It has a lot on the edging. You can see within these gold designs, the way they wave around the belt, that you can see a lion. You can see, I think there's like a crown or something. I can't remember, but there'll be a picture on the screen, of course. But yeah, there's designs to it. There's actual designs to the belt. The only belt that actually stands out to me is the United States Championship. The United States Championship is the only belt in the WWE right now, in my opinion, that actually has a good design to it. The IC title, it has a minor design to it, but it just looks kind of like a generic championship. It kind of looks like a coin to me. It doesn't look good. There's an old school quality that I do enjoy. It makes the IC title look a little bit more rough. And, because back in the day, I mean, it was like a technical championship. A lot of the Bret Harts, the Mr. Perfects, they would have that championship because they were just like nowadays, Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, he would have that championship. And it'd be a lot of those guys who would have the IC title. And you were looked at as the workhorse. You were looked at as probably one of the best in-ring technicians around. You may not be Hulk Hogan, but you were one of the top guys, right? And I mean, I think, I'm not speaking the whole thing on lineage, but the point is there's an old school quality to it. And I think that's good, but there's something about it that I just don't care to look at. Like the United States Championship, every time it's on the screen, I'm looking at it and I'm trying to see like, ooh, let me see the details on it. And it's eye-catching is what I'm talking about. The IC title is not eye-catching. It's not anything really great to look at. It's not fun. I would say the women's world title looks great. I think it looks a lot better with the white strap. It makes it more eye-popping. I think it looks good. I don't mind it at all. The women's WWE Championship with that weird gold. You can tell the WWE titles have this weird gold to it on both of them, the women's and the men, versus the women's and the men world titles. They have a more authentic style gold to it. It looks more realistic. The other gold is so like yellow. It looks like you created it in the WWE 2K games and you don't know how to make what gold looks like, so you kind of make it more of a yellow than a gold, right? It kind of looks like that. And I'm not a huge fan of it. It is what it is. I know that a lot of people don't hate it because at least it's gold now and it's not just black and it's not boring. They did something with it. They added something to it, but they need a design. They need a design. I get it. You are the WWE champion, so what should the title look like? The WWE logo makes sense. But you look at the AEW champion. You look at the AEW championship. You look at the UFC championship, even the Impact championship, the Ring of Honor championship. Yes, they have their names on the belt, their logos on the belt, but they have a design around it. They have a ton of design around it. Some of them more than others, but WWE, the only designs they have on their championship belts are the side plates. AJ's logo, Randy Orton's logo, right? They have all these side plates, which is cool, sure. But they had custom side plates, I think, back with the spinner belt, was it? I feel like that's when they started it. If it is correct, I'll have an image on the screen. But you can have a logo like the spinner belt. That was the main part of the championship. That was the first time that we had a big logo in the center of the championship. But the reason why we did that is because it spun. There was a gimmick behind the logo. Now it's a stationary logo with no design behind it. The WWE spinner logo had a design around it. I loved it. It was very, very much of the times, the spinner, the blinged out type of style. It was very like 2005 hip hop, right? But I love that era. I grew up in that, right? So I think it looks great. I think it was fantastic. And there was different versions of it. But ever since they moved it to just the plain stationary, no thought process behind it, WWE logo belt, it doesn't do it for me. And I'm not saying it looks awful. It looks fine. But it's not fun. It's not cool. You would think a $1 billion company would come up with a better idea. It just doesn't make any sense. But they did great on the world titles. The logo was a little bit too big. Maybe that's why. But at least it has design. But I think my favorite belt, if it's not the new world title, it's the United States Championship. Because even the tag team titles, they just don't look great. And I'm expecting we'll most likely get a unified. No, I don't know if we'll get a unified tag team title or if we're going to get like we did back in the day when I was growing up watching WWE. It was always the WWE tag title and the world tag title. Kind of like we're getting with the men and the women. So I'm thinking that's the case because I don't see them doing just one tag team unified championship because of the roster brand split thing, right? I see them doing it because there's not enough tag teams, but I don't see them doing it because of the brand split. But maybe the tag champs, because there's not enough tag teams, they can go between Raw and SmackDown. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I have no idea. But I mean, hopefully it works out.